What is up everyone, Parox here, and I think it's time for some World of Tanks. So I haven't played my BDR G1B in a while, aka the BERDER GERBER. So I thought I was gonna, dust it off and run some platoons with it. It is on track to the AMX-50B, so it's kind of an appropriate time to play this tank. Maybe people will think I'm grinding and not seal clubbing. But anyways, I'm platooned with CMA in his Chinook Kai, and we're on Miravanka. And immediately I notice that there is a gigantic lemming train going down the JK line over to that little hill at H8. So it's up to me, a Crusader, a Matilda, and a Stug 3G to defend the entire 1-2 line. So let's see what we can do here. I don't see anything just yet. Ah, there we go, a Hetzer. Perfect. Come here, little buddy. Oh, that looks like it hurt. That's one thing, well, I like a lot of things about the BDR, but the best thing about it is the 90mm gun. Its alpha's just so good, especially when you get on the top in tier 5 games. You can just wreck tier 3s and 4s, and it's like they didn't even exist. And you can put a pretty big hurting on tier 5 tanks too. Like, if I shot that KV-1 right now, I'd bring him down to like 60% health, something like that, 70%. So that's still a big chunk of hit points that is off of a tier 5 tank. Oh, I noticed one of their good KV-1s in the forest, so let's try to line up some shots on him. I always exit sniper mode before I click to shoot, and it's really a bad habit. I don't really like to do it, but I think it looks cool. Is one of the reasons I go out of sniper mode before I shoot. But that's not important anymore. What is important is me being by myself on this flank. I mean, the Stug 3G is kind of there, but he's way in the back. We are still winning, so that's good news, but hopefully they take out all the TDs over in the forest. And see, I did it again. But still, one shot for the rest of his health, that tier 4 TD. So since they're moving up in the forest, I think it is a good time to try to move down the 1-2 line. But that was a bad idea looking back on it, because they didn't spot anything, or they didn't spot a lot of things in the forest. So if I were thinking at the time, that means there's going to be a lot of guys over here. And at first I thought that was just one tank shooting at me for 100 damage, but I realized that there were a lot of things over there after I kept getting hit over and over again. I tried to take a snapshot at the BDR just to get myself into some cover, and maybe I'll get a lucky RNG shot. I take another snapshot on the BDR, but it doesn't really pay off. I stick around here longer than I should. I get hit by the BDR and some other unknown TD that's back there somewhere. So now I'm going to use this Matilda wreck to slowly back off. I go into sniper mode just to make sure I can't see the BDR, because chances are if I can't see him, he can't see me. So oh, there he is. There's the other good player on their team. 6 kills now. If only I could have shot faster and denied him a top gun. Ah well, he can have it this time. Now the scores aren't looking too good. We only have a few guys left. That Stug 3 in the back is doing absolutely nothing right now. I decide I want to try to poke up and get this Martyr 38T, but at the last second I decide it's better to stay in cover. That way they don't know where I'm going to attack from. I see a T-70 over there. He backs up and then stops backing up, so I miss him. I should have waited a little longer to shoot that shell. So now me and CMA have brothers in arms. We each are on 3 kills. Let's see where everyone's at. It's not going to be too hard to figure it out, considering we have control of almost all of the map. But we still don't know. Someone could be over at like A0, because there is one unspotted tank. There's the Wolverine. Ah, there they all are. I loaded APCR shells because I wanted to shoot the BDR. I thought he'd be coming this way, but I was wrong. So I get to shoot a paper tank with APCR shells. And unfortunately I forget to unload the APCR, so I'm kind of stuck shooting it for the moment. I see a Wolverine, he goes dark, but I managed to get the kill anyway. And now this game is looking about over. I'm on 1,000 damage and 5 kills, and CMA has 3 kills. So the Stug 3 is finally coming into the action. I'm crawling up this hill and CMA is coming up behind him. I do still have my APCR loaded. I'm still forgetting about it, apparently. And here we go. The BDR just shot. Perfect opportunity. I see I have APCR loaded now. I'm like, crap, I better fix that. And then CMA gets the kill. So we end up with 9 kills, and I ended up doing 1,200 damage. Alright, so our next game is on Steps. We are playing the same tanks, me and CMA. And we're going to start off by heading the 9-0 line. 9-0 line is probably my favorite flank to go in the game. Mostly because it's just, I think it's, I don't know, I don't like the 1-2 line too much because I feel like it's too overpopular. I don't know. And it's also kind of just a giant slugfest with a bunch of heavies, and most people aren't too situationally aware of things that are going on down there, because there are a lot of ways to shoot and flank in the E1 area. So we're going to go head down the 9-0 line, along with some of our lower tier tanks. I'm going to pull off to the side here, try to get some shots, early shots off, maybe on the TDs back there, or some other tanks. So I climb all the way over this hill to try to shoot at the T-82. And in retrospect, this wasn't a very good use of my time, because I missed anyways, and there's a whole mass of enemy tanks about to run in our guys down the 0 line. And there's another instance where I shot and the T-46 stopped just as I was leading my shell, and it's already 0-4, and me and CMA haven't really done anything. CMA misses his shell, and then the T-40 pulls back into cover. Now it's 0-5. And this kind of sucks, because it's just us two, a Hetzer, and an almost dead T-82 on our flank. And now it's a dead T-82 on our flank. We're 6 tanks down, and we still have a lot of work to do on this flank. So let's get to it. CMA is putting in some fire on that Churchill 1, and I just see the BDR take a snapshot. It pens, but unfortunately he pulled out before I saw him, so he had time to aim and put a shell into my armor, and it tracked me too. I try a snapshot on that Cruiser 4, but unfortunately it doesn't connect. This BDR wants me bad, so I'm going to try to get some shots on him. Unfortunately I miss, and he hits the dirt. It's now 0-7. 0-8. Oh man. Alright, finally. CMA finally got the first kill. So now let's try to do some work here on this flank. I see the Cruiser 4. I am not sure how that missed at all. That was probably one of the instances where if I stayed in sniper mode I would have hit and penned. I was actually surprised by this Hetzer play. It indicates he's a good player, but he came right over the edge and got shot at by me. So we're bringing up the scores now. It's 5-9. CMA has 3 kills, and the KV-220 has 2 more. I aim poorly and get a shell right into the Churchill's gun mantlet there. But that's okay. We're going to go for this BDR now. I put a shot in, and it hits and pens, finally. We do have a T-46 coming up behind us, but I'm going to let that Gnu handle him. For now, I'll finish off that Churchill 1 and pull out and wait for this BDR. Alright, there he is. I'm going to pull out and aim my shell. I'm going to try to get the commander's hatch. It doesn't quite hit, but he knows I fired, so now he's going to roll right out, and CMA is going to take him out. BDR got tricked right there. He didn't know CMA was spotted. Well, actually, he wasn't spotted, but he was just sitting there lying in wait. Our T-40's putting some hurt on this T-14, but unfortunately he goes down. And I'm kind of worried about this T-82 because he could have the derp gun, and my rear armor is not very strong at all, so it could put a big hurting on me or damage some of my modules. And I don't really want that to happen right now. So I'm trying to ignore him. Thankfully CMA shoots him, and now it's time to work on this T-14. One shell puts him at half health from what he originally started at. And I'm gonna shoot and try to finish him off, but CMA will get the kill for Top Gun. So the Martyr and the VK are over at G1, and I was watching the minimap very carefully at that time because I was watching their little markers, and the direction they were moving in was toward our base. So I'm like, okay, they are definitely going to be over here. So I'm just going to speed up the replay a little bit until we get to the fight. So CMA is checking that way, I'm checking this way, and there's the VK, and there's the Martyr 38T. So the Martyr 38T obviously sees CMA because he shot at him, but the Martyr is not going to pull around that way anymore. Instead, I'm going to try to get some shots on this VK, and he's going to come around the other side, right into my gun. Alright, he's dead. Now while CMA is distracting this VK, I'm going to come around behind him and get some shots into his rear, because he can only focus on one of us at a time. Surprise! So we were able to finish off with 9 kills, and I got 1,282 damage, and CMA got 1,500. Alright, the final replay I have today is on Serene Coast. Same platoon, same guys, and immediately the BDR, or the Wolverine says, BDR, can I join your platoon? He's not talking to me, he's talking to their BDR platoon, right? Wrong. So I look over at his stats and he's a bad, well, he's not a bad player, he's a new player. All new players are generally bad because they don't know the game. So I'm just trying to be polite, say no thanks. But he got rejected. So me and CMA are going to move down the 1-2 line and try to shoot the guys that usually poke up around D1. And from here we can also shoot across the field. Apparently that T-14 doesn't know how to back up, he only knows how to push W. So we are going to make quick work of him. And now I'm going to try to get some shots on this M4. I didn't realize how good of a spot this was until CMA showed it to me. Not this spot in particular. Once we get a little farther up, you'll see exactly what I mean. I'm going to see if I have any shots on this Lux. Unfortunately, I don't. I would like to get him out, because he already has 1 kill and is their best player. I see a T1 Heavy. I'll shoot and pen. Again, out of sniper mode. I don't recommend you do that ever at all, because it can make you miss sometimes. Not all the time, but when you do, you're like, oh, I should have stayed in sniper mode. I would have hit that. So I'm going to try to back up here and get some shots on his turret, but unfortunately there is none. I can't see that SU-85 exactly, but there is a green penetration marker, so I'll shoot and pen, and then the other BDR finishes him off. Alright, so there's lots of tanks up there, and it's only that T1 Heavy who's almost dead, CMA who's almost dead, so I decided it's time for me to move in more and help my team out more than I am. So I'm already pretty much on 1,000 damage. Let's see what else I can do. I was going to shoot that Chinu, but the BDR pulled in front, so I'm like, okay, that's cool too. And these guys did a good job of moving back and forth. I missed a lot of shells on them, but the first two I was managed to penetrate. I shot and missed that KV-1, and the T1 Heavy penned me. As you can see, we have a lot more HP than they do, probably about 900. Not really that much, but compared to the total health of the teams, 900 is quite a lot. But I'm going to stay here and try to hold off this flank. Me and CMA. By ourselves. While some of our team camps the H line. Don't really know what they're doing over there. Maybe they're trying to shoot across at the Wolverine. Ooh, can I get that guy? Maybe? Yeah. I must have pleased the RNG gods somehow to make that shot. I'm going to try for some shots on the Wolverine by shooting underneath that train car, but my reticle wants to snap on to the train thing. No, I don't want you to do that. I want to aim where I want to. But now I'm going to refocus my attention on these guys up north. I take a snapshot at the BDR because I don't feel like getting shot and being reduced to 200 HP. Or 300 HP, rather. I do bounce a shot from the KV-1, that's surprising, especially with the soft armor of the BDR. But maybe he hit an auto bounce zone. So now I'm thinking that this is kind of a dead-end slugfest over here. They're not shooting us and penning. I'm not shooting them and penning. So it looks like the middle is pretty vulnerable. So I'm going to try to head over there and get up close to them. That way I can actually have some nice shots and penetrate. So let's see what we can do about that. There's a Crusader over there to my right. But I want to see if I can finish up this Chiha and M8A1 first. It looks like I can, but oop, KV-1, and I bounce off the side of him, of course. So I'm going to try to keep moving forward, and hello again, and another bounce. This is when I decide to load APCR, but unfortunately, when I load APCR, it always seems that I don't have shots on the tank I was going to shoot anymore. So, once again, I forget it's in my my chamber, and I'm just still shooting it. I was so caught up in the game at this point because I had so much damage, and I was really happy. Yeah, I'm at 1800 right now with 3 kills. So, let's see, can I shoot that guy? No. Oh, this is going to be an expensive shot. Yep. An APCR shell for 3 HP. That was definitely worth it. No, it wasn't. Thankfully, CMA finished that guy off, so I wouldn't have to shoot another APCR for 9 HP. I do see the Chiha, so I'm going to dive down. No, it is a Chihi. I'm going to dive down, but the BDR doesn't turn very well, so I had to keep driving forward a little bit. And, okay, there we go. I just noticed then that I had APCR loaded, so now it's time to switch back to APCR, just to make sure I can get those pens on the KV-1. It did look like he was going to come around for me, so yep, there he is. He's a little hesitant at first, but I try to bait him out. And yep, here he comes. He gets a shot into me, I get a shot into him, and CMA is going to come around and try to help me out. I get another shot into the KV-1, and then CMA finishes him off. Come on, reload. Get the kill. Aww. So he didn't know I was on 5 kills, I didn't know I was on 5 kills, but oh well. If you've enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, I'll see you next time.